Here's the thing in this game, and Coach, I want to tee you up here as we've got this game on Indiana, North Carolina, 65-57, just over 3 minutes left to go in this game. Like, Indiana's only made 3 threes. They're not a three-point shooting team. They're not a great offensive team, Coach. But they've shot close to 50% from the field, and that's because tonight, on this night, Xavier Johnson and Jalen Hood-Schifino have been able to drive the lane and get looks, and Trayce Jackson-Davis is Trayce Jackson-Davis.
Yeah, I mean, I love their sort of inside presence. I think the kid Schifino, man, he is terrific.
Awesome.
The pace that he plays with. I mean, again,
Yep.
he's only 6 games into his career. I mean, he's going to really.
Wow, 46-18 points in the paint. 46-18. Armando Bacot, you should take that personally. Pete Nance, you should take that personally.
Right. You got 2 bigs. I mean, you have 2 older bigs. And to me, the hardest part, and Hubert, I asked him this, and he didn't really take offense to it, but I said, you know, it's hard to play Nance and Bacot together in a way because Nance is more comfortable guarding 5s. That's what he's done his whole career at Northwestern. It's hard for him to guard 4s. He said at the end of the overtimes, when he had them both out there, maybe the first or second overtime or both of them. Maybe I don't even know when he had them both out there. It was
there
so
were 4.
So it was, it was so hard to remember all those overtimes. But he said actually Nance did a good job. And maybe it was when they were switching. They were switching 1 through 5 when Bacot was on the bench at the end. And Nance can do a good job at times. Again, it's hard. I think Nance is much more comfortable at the 5 than he is at the 4, but you got to have them play together.
Yeah. You know, how many times you've seen Carolina come down the stretch with 57 points?
Never.
I mean, like,
but they have 3 offensive weapons.
You hold IU to 67. You know, I mean, I know there's 2.5 minutes left in the game, but you'd feel pretty good if you were Carolina in past games, past years.
Well, think about this. Yep. Leaky Black is not a scorer. Correct. They have no bench for the most part, right? No bench for the most part. You know, they played a little bit more tonight, and Hubert has wanted to, but really, you have 3.5 scores. Pete Nance isn't a big time scorer. He had some points early, and they just keep going to Trayce. They just keep going. Every time Nance is on Trayce, they're going to go to Trayce because they feel like they can win that matchup every single time. Yep. And Pete Nance, the best kid in the world, but he's got to probably show a little bit more toughness.
Look, I like Indiana guys. I like them. I think they're a top 15 team in the country. By the same token, the ease in which they're getting these looks. Yeah. Xavier Johnson with a teardrop. That was like clockwork. You post up Jackson-Davis. If Trayce Jackson-Davis gets in one-on-one single coverage, how many matchups in the country is he really going to lose?
Trayce is tough, man. Because Chris, did you see Trayce coming out of high school? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
So the word, I don't remember him, but they say early on he was kind of, I don't know if lazy is the right word, but like he wasn't the toughest dude and he didn't work the hardest. And he has gotten better and better and better every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to speak to a kid's work ethic. You know, obviously I saw him during high school and AAU and whatnot, and you could see the potential because he was long and he was athletic and he had a pretty good touch and a good feel. But, you know, I know that early on, he needed to get his motor going a little bit more. Yeah. And I tell you what, seems like he's got a heck of a motor right now.
Sure does. But it's easy to play that. Like this crowd, I mean, again, if you can't play with a motor with this crowd, my daughter's there now, and she texted me. She was like, I've been to a lot of college basketball games, and she said, this one's the best I've ever been.
Wow. Where do IU fans rank?
Well, where do they rank among the crazies?
Yeah. I'm not going to ask you anything other than that. I'm putting them on that level.
I mean, nobody's catching Kentucky. Nobody. Texas Tech has made a run at it. They've made a run at it with their kind of smaller group of lunatics. They're closing in, but they can't catch Kentucky because there's just too many in you know, Big Blue Nation. Everywhere you go, you see somebody. I can be around in Boston at Logan Airport. I have somebody flying a damn Kentucky flag down the street here in Newburyport, Massachusetts, in front of their house.
They're
So
following you.
yeah, they probably do follow me. They probably follow you too.